Hi, my name is Chelsea Hurst and I am the Instructional Technology Supervisor for a school district in rural Alaska. Today we are going to talk about my grad school graduation. For this video, I am wearing my Georgia Southern shirt. I purchased a cap on Amazon and I am going to flip my tassel and then throw my cap in the air because I am so proud and I am so excited to be done with grad school. I grew up in a family that really valued education. My mom performed really well in school and continued to pursue degrees throughout her adult life. So as a child, seeing that and having the support from a mother in education herself really pushed my siblings and I to achieve academic greatness. When talking about my siblings' success in school, I always reference my twin brother Tyler, who in 7th grade scored higher on the SAT than I did after taking it 3 times in high school. I'm not sure why I always love telling that story, but I think I'm just really proud of my siblings and how much my family values education because I know I am very blessed in the sense that I had that growing up because not every family does. So when I graduated college, I went to the University of North Georgia and graduated with my degree in middle grades education in 2015. From there, I started my teaching career right away. I moved to South Georgia and began teaching 6th grade earth science. It was not long after I started that I knew I was ready to start pursuing my master's degree. Just like my mom, I always had dreams of continuing my education past my undergraduate degree, so it seemed natural to begin as soon as possible. In 2017, I applied for my master's in curriculum and instruction at Georgia Southern University and got accepted. The main reason why I chose to go to Georgia Southern is because I was teaching in Richmond Hill, Georgia, which is only about an hour from Georgia Southern in Statesboro. All of my classes were online, but just the feeling of being close to my university felt special to me, and there were several teachers within my school in Richmond Hill that were also starting the same program, so it felt like home. At the time, online learning was brand new to me, so I felt that if I could go through it with some colleagues, that it would be a lot easier, and that definitely was the case. Undergraduate, I performed really well in college. I really enjoyed college. I say that it was the best 4 years of my life, but I had no idea how much more difficult graduate school would be. Not all of it comes down to the academics being different, but just the way of life between undergraduate and graduate school is so much different. In my undergrad, I lived on campus, I worked on campus, I was involved in a lot of campus activities, and my sole purpose was my education. So completing my classes, going to school, things like that. I lived in a North Georgia bubble, and at the time I eat, breathed, slept, dreamt North Georgia, and that was all I had to worry about. So while there were stressors in that, I was really able to prioritize my education in a way that I was not able to do in my graduate program. Fast forward to my graduate program, I am now a new full-time teacher. On top of teaching, I also coached volleyball. I love to work out. I was now starting adult life, figuring out my schedule. So there were a lot of things that I had to prioritize above my graduate classes. So a typical schedule for me looked like waking up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym, just because exercise is something that I love and didn't want to sacrifice. I would then go to school for a full day, and then after school, volleyball practice until about 5:30, or if it was a game night, which happened twice a week, volleyball until 9 o'clock at night. I would then come home, make dinner, eat dinner, and then after that would be grad school time. So for me, grad school really didn't start until 8 o'clock at night, which was different for me because instead of my whole focus during my day being on my college classes, it was now something that I tried to squeeze in late at night. So my schedule was totally different, and that definitely took some adjustments to get used to, especially in my graduate program. The classes were also more difficult. In my program, it relied a lot more on professional writing than it did in my undergrad. So that was something I really had to work hard on, and just turn in materials that are work samples that I was really proud of, because the professors held me to a higher expectation, which in turn, I held myself to a higher expectation of work as well. Right now feels like a really appropriate time to give a shout out to my classmates in my cohort. I do not have children right now, but several of my classmates had children, and just listening to their schedule and how they accommodated grad school with caring for their children and everything else that they did, it was really remarkable to hear, and was a really huge motivation for me to work hard in my graduate program. So shout out to you guys. Right now, online learning is prevalent in all of our lives, but when I first started grad school, that was not the case. Adjusting to learning on an online environment was pretty difficult for me. On the first day of classes, they give you all of your work for the entire year. It's all in modules on the online program. You can view it, you can get a head start on it. In my undergraduate, I was somebody who loved to get a head start on things just because I always wanted to be ahead of the curve, especially if there was an activity I wanted to enjoy. I wanted to make sure all my schoolwork was done. So naturally, starting grad school, I thought I would do the same thing, realizing though I became overwhelmed very quickly with the sheer amount of work, and just reading the syllabus and all of the assignments that we were going to do felt insurmountable, that I would never be able to accomplish it. So I learned really quickly that my tactics in undergraduate could not transfer over to my graduate program, and I really had to learn to take things week at a time and not look ahead, or else my life would be 100% consumed by grad school. But with my job, with coaching, with my family, of course that wasn't able to happen. So that was definitely something I had to learn very quickly. I also had to learn to be really flexible. In my undergraduate, everything had to be a certain way. I was going to take my classes right when I was supposed to. I was going to graduate right on time and check all of the boxes, dot my I's, cross my T's, all of that good stuff, just because that is my personality. There was no victory lap for this girl, and I just knew that wasn't going to happen. Graduate school, I started in 2017. It is a 2-year program, so I should have finished in 2019. It is now mid-2020, and I am just finishing, and that is because I did have to take time off. I wound up taking 2 semesters off throughout my graduate program, actually, and that is because life happens. My husband deployed 2 times while I was in my graduate program. I moved across the country 2 times. So with graduate school or my graduate program, a lot of my work was based off of what I was doing in my classroom. So I had to be in a classroom in order to complete my classwork. I moved across the country twice. So I moved to Oklahoma in January, so mid-school year. I did not have a job right away. So I had to take that semester off because I did not get a job in a classroom. I taught 4th grade, but that didn't happen until March. The semester started in January, so that would have been several months of not being able to complete classwork. So I decided to take that semester off. Then, 6 months later, from January, in July, August, I moved to Alaska. So again, moving to Alaska, I faced a period of unemployment to where August through November, I did not have a job. I was subbing, I was coaching volleyball, but I did not have a job to where I could apply what I was learning in grad school into my classroom. So I had to take another semester off. Then once I finally decided, I kicked around maybe pursuing a different degree, maybe just quitting and saying I'm done, because I got a job in November as an instructional technology coach. So I do not have a traditional classroom in my job, and with the nature of my school district, there are no schools close enough to where I could hop into somebody's classroom. So I was thinking and kicking around November, thinking to start for the spring semester. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I'm not going to have a classroom. It's not going to work out. But really shout out to my supervisors at my job and then my professors at Georgia Southern. They really accommodated my class requirements, so I was able to finish that field experience in my current job and graduate. So that's what I did. I finished my last semester, finished my coursework in that accommodated setting, and coronavirus happened, so then everybody was working in a accommodated setting, so it wound up really working to my benefit, and really being a really great experience there at the end. So overall, grad school was a lot harder than undergrad. There was never a point in time where undergrad I thought about quitting, thought about tossing in the chips and saying no more. That happened several times throughout my graduate program, but I am really, really glad that I stuck with it and that I had family and people encouraging me along the way to stick with it, because deep down I know that pursuing education is really important to me and I am not ready to stop. So I graduate today as I'm shooting this video, and in my mind I already have ideas of what degree I'm going to pursue next and how that will affect my professional future. So even if it's difficult, I think it being difficult makes it more valuable, because I feel like I really had to earn my stripes and work hard for this degree. So it is something that I am incredibly proud of, and I am ready for the challenge at the next level. So if you were thinking about going to grad school, do it. There's never going to be a great time to start. There's always going to be life that's in the way, but you really kind of just need to pull up your pants, buckle down, get it done, and it'll be so worth it in the end. Then shout out to all of my professors at Georgia Southern. I know I never met any of you guys in person, but to be able to complete a degree online and feel that it was a very valuable experience really speaks to the value of the professors in my curriculum and instruction master's program. And congratulations to all of the other graduates, especially my little sister, Emma Siersky, who just graduated from undergrad at James Madison University. Have a good day.